Hey guys, today I'm going to talk a little bit about headlamps. I had a guy approach me and ask about headlamps. It is a hot topic because you, at Ranger School, you're going to use your headlamp every day. Like it's something that you use quite often. So you want a decent enough headlamp, but it doesn't have to be like the world's greatest 250 Tikka RXP headlamp. Like you don't need the nicest headlamp in the world. And I actually don't recommend that because you're gonna probably lose your headlamp or two. Like I think the packing list calls for one headlamp. I'd probably go with like four, to be honest with you. Like everybody loses at least a headlamp. At any given moment, I always had two on me, right? So I had one in my kit, like for quick access, so I could just pull it out as like in a grenade pouch, and then I had another one, like a spare one, in my rucksack, just in case I lost the one on my kit. Which, to be honest with you, you do. It seems like, and I actually found a headlamp, so I think I brought four with me to Ranger School, and I found one on the land nav course, like laying in the dirt, and it still worked, and I still have it, to be honest with you. So like Rangers lose headlamps, bring extra. So I say all that to say, like, you want a decent enough headlamp, but you don't want to just buy a crappy $15 headlamp because you're using it so much that you want a decent one, but you don't want to break the bank, right? I would highly recommend, personally, I would recommend the Princeton Techs. They've got a couple different models. They've got like the Remix Pro, and then like you can just keep going up in price. They can get wild, like $200. I'm not kidding when I say $200. You can easily spend $200 on a headlamp. I will say, if you're a person that's like not super confident at land nav, they make some that have like a external battery pack. They're like, I don't know, 700-800 lumens. Like they're super bright. I know when I was in iBullock, a lot of guys had them. They were like obnoxiously bright, super bright. If you're not confident at land nav, maybe spend some extra dollars and get one of those like floodlight headlamps to use on the land nav course. If that will help with your confidence, get after it. Buy a headlamp that has like a ton of lumens to give you that extra little bit. Just know they're going to cost a little more. As far as like the routine day-to-day patrolling of Ranger School, I would not recommend that. You don't need it. It's like super overkill. In fact, you're probably going to piss the RIs off when you go to do your SI checks if you have that like obnoxiously bright headlamp. Your call. You do you. The one that I ran, I had like probably, I think I brought four of these with, and then like I said, I found one. It wasn't this exact model, but I found one when I was on the land nav course at Ranger School. So then I had 5 total headlamps with me, but it's the Princeton Tech Remix Pro. So it's this one right here. I like it. It takes AAA's, AAA batteries. So, and you do go through a lot, so that's one thing to like bring plenty of AAA batteries. This one here is the Remix. I couldn't find my Remix Pro, but they're the same concept, except for the Remix Pro has like more. The Remix Pro has more lenses, so it's a little bit brighter. This one's just like a little smaller profile. This is actually the one that I like. I kept this in my kit most of the time, just the plain old Remix, because it's just a little bit smaller. It's not as bright, which you don't really need super bright because you're mostly only using it for SI checks or to like check clear on your open bolt weapon system. So the biggest thing I like about this is it, when you turn it on, it goes straight to red. There's different heights. If you want to go to white, you have to like hold the button down and then it'll go to white. But then when you shut it off, you go back on, it goes back to red. And the reason I like that is because a lot of times you'll see guys will get whatever model of headlamp. You have to like cycle through all the bright white light settings to get to the red. So you'll see them, they'll have to like hold their hand over the light and then they'll like turn it on to get to the red. I love the fact that these Princeton Tech, they just go straight to red. And you have to deliberately hold the button down for 3 seconds to go to white light. So big fan. The Princeton Tech Pro and the Princeton Tech Remix Pro. Those are the two models that I went. I think the Pro is like $30 to $40, somewhere in that vicinity. And then the Remix Pro is, I don't think I spent more than $50 on a headlamp, but I think I brought two Pros and two Remix Pros. So, it's just another one of those things where you could buy a cheap $15 headlamp and probably be okay. And yeah, it sucks because you buy a $50 headlamp and you lost it in the woods in Fort Moore. But the same token, I'd rather lose $50 and walk out of there with a tab than, have only spent $10 and for whatever reason having a crappy headlamp is what cost me my tab. So anyhow, yeah, that's my advice. I know headlamps is a pretty popular topic. I get asked quite a bit on headlamps. So that is my recommendation, is the Princeton Tech Remix Pro and Remix. One big thing, I just noticed this because mine has it. I would put your name on absolutely everything. So like every one of my headlamps has my name on it. And then I just would refresh it every phase. I'd just rewrite over it. Maybe I can do a separate video on that, but label everything, all of your stuff, period, just label it. Maybe I'll do a bag dump video later and I'll explain why, but I just wanted to give you that advice when I saw it, because there were actually times I had dropped a headlamp at Ranger School and I remember people bringing them back to me because it had my name on it. So it definitely pays off. Label your stuff. Anyhow, that's all I have. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, drop a comment in there. I'll address it as best I can. If there's any videos you want to see, let me know. I'll add it to the queue and I'll get after it. So anyhow, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.